Welcome home, Bitcoin truth seekers. It is January 9th, 8:36 a.m. here in the Arizona desert. That's Mountain Standard Time. It is Sunday, so it is a blessed, beautiful day. And let's look at the market and what's going on. It does look like on the daily, maybe we're seeing some positive action. I kind of like that. So, as always, BitcoinDailyView.com. Things that I mentioned as far as indicators and such are usually there. Check it out. All right, since it is Sunday, let's have a spiritual message to start this off. You have to understand most of these people are not ready to be unplugged, Bitcoin truth seekers, and many of them are so inured, so hopelessly dependent on the system that they will fight to protect it. And they just can't understand why anyone wouldn't think that the building back better and the Great Reset is just so wonderful. Like, well, why wouldn't you want it? I mean, we can all like drive Teslas and drink roach milk and whatever. Remember, if you're not a Bitcoin truth seeker, you're one of them. So anyway, looking at the market in squares this morning, a mix of green and red, at least this moment here on Coin 360, looking at the last hour. Bitcoin's kind of flatlining, but it does appear to have stopped dumping. Let's see if it's building some traction there, okay? All right, Bitcoin trade volumes still don't work. Anyway, fear and greed index. This is something mentioned earlier. Let me actually refresh this. I mentioned this exact thing yesterday. Let's just do it one more time. Oh, look at that. Extreme fear. It was 10 yesterday. Now it's 23. I like that. And when it's hit 10 before in the past, 4 times in 2021, this comes from M Mouse over there at the Blockchain Education trading chat. Boom. Each time it hit 4 times last year, it was followed by a rally. That's pretty darn groovy. So it hit 10. It's moving up from there now. And the daily is starting to look a little better. Also, so is the shorter time frames. So 15 billion in volume last 24 hours for spot on Binance. So 15.9 billion, up 12% last 24 hours. Not bad. On Coinbase, 3.8 billion, or basically rounded up to 3.9 billion, up 20% last 24 hours. So definitely starting to see some action on Coinbase that I have not seen recently. So that's pretty darn groovy. And I got to mention crypto.com exchange, 3.5 billion, not bad, up 10% last 24 hours. So we're seeing a lot of action going on here. KuCoin, 2.6 billion, up 26% last 24 hours. So the big exchanges are starting to see some volume last 24 hours. Still, volume is very, 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 very low in my opinion, but it is on the way up. Good to go. It's a nice thing to see on a Sunday. For derivatives on Binance, you want to see 75K. You want to see 75 billion for a really good day. 50 billion might get you by. We're 54 billion, up 13% last 24 hours. I'll take it. So volume low for sure, but it is Sunday. It ain't Funday yet, but it might turn out to be. We might be setting up Monday for a good run. I still can't find you Bitcoin trading volume explicitly. I'm still looking for that. But over here at bitcoinity.org, check out this order book. It's a new thing, combined order book. It shows you across some of the big exchanges here, the order book spread there. Kind of groovy. I like it. Trading volume, once again, I can look at it here, but I got to tell you, this doesn't mean shit to me. Sorry, I don't get what it's telling me exactly. I mean, I sort of do, but not exactly. Let's just say that looking at let's see, let's look at the 24 hours. Okay. 24 hours. Let's look at 3 days. How about that? Is that today? 9th. So today, less volume so far than yesterday. Anyway, we'll try to get a better hook into that. Open interest, 13.8 billion across the big exchanges, down 0.81. I'm sorry. Yes, if you care, last 24 hours. All right. Looking at the bulls and the bears duking it out this morning, starting to see a little bit of action in general. Earlier, it was quiet, just kind of 100K chunks back and forth, kind of duking it out. We're starting to see some aggressive plays here by both bears and bulls to push the market. You can see these two buys here, 1.7 million, 1.5 million. Boom. I think I just woke up and decided maybe I'd drop, $1.5 million, maybe 2. It's 1.5 billion. Yeah, I'm gonna buy Bitcoin today. I mean, yeah, I don't think any individual did that. Although you don't know, they very well may have. There's some friggin' wealthy people out there. Anyway, but I am seeing we're starting to look at this sell here, 1.4 million. So anyways, just saying, I'm starting to see some action here. So expect some volatility, but we are kind of holding steady sideways. But I'm starting to see the buys and sells, the bears kind of ramp up their amounts. So we're going to start to see some action. It's been kind of slow overnight, but now I think this morning we're starting to see some ramping up. And look at that little purple tower right there. That means some shorts got wrecked. Good, you bastards. Anyway, with that said, Bitcoin trading volume on Binance, where all the beautiful volume is, 75% long, 24% short. Definitely a long bias, but okay, cool. I myself wouldn't be leveraging anything right now, but that's just me. Okay. Ethereum, 72% long, 28% short. Looking at the Bitcoin daily chart, this is rather astounding and I like it. It makes me happy. Okay. This is Sunday. And as you can see, check out the MACD. The histogram just started to close towards the positive. No positive daily tangent yet, but still, yesterday was an extremely, if you can see that, let me make sure, let me blow this up here. Yesterday was an extremely indecisive doji, but it was green. Now, so far, we have a red doji today, but could this be a turnaround? The MACD would say possibly. So with that said, if you are a candlestick master, I'm sure this is probably some kind of a cool, nameable pattern, but I don't know what that is. Looking at the 12-hour chart, the tangent for the MACD is definitely not quite on the way up, but it's getting there. 12-hour chart is definitely showing some positive action. Let's look at the 2-hour chart. It does tend to tell me at least which way the daily actually is heading, even if you don't quite see it yet. 2-hour chart, you can see this beautiful sideways action, still below the 50 moving average and the 200 and the 314. Yes, but look at the 2-hour, but look at the MACD. It has been kind of flirting with positive and negative for a while. It just bounced recently again off the signal, but still 2-hour MACD definitely has a positive inclination, I would say. So with that said, I think we're looking good. I like what I'm seeing here. Let's just kind of hold tight. Could we get a turnaround today? If you do note here, we are looking at here on the daily chart. We are looking at previous support and resistance in the chart. We're looking at a place where it has hung out before, and since it has hung out there before, let's. Even though I probably did this, yesterday, I should just leave my charts up and not change them. I try to do that, but let's just go for fun. Let's do, since we seem to have some traction there, let's just kind of do a thing here. Is that going to stick to anything? Is it going to mean anything? Between the 382 and the 50. Well, could be. Actually move. How about I put this like here? Does that match up a little bit better? I kind of like that better. So we could be seeing still could see that .5 bounce of around 39,000. Anyway, we've gone through and looked at this before, but the when we do Fibonacci retracements, definitely that 39, 38K area does show a lot of support by a fib in different time frames. So anyway, with that said, let's see what's going to happen. Don't really know yet, but I can say definitely for sure, regards to fib sequences and such like that, we are hanging out where we have seen previous support and resistance. So this is definitely a bounce spot. Let's see how it turns out. The daily MACD would say it very possibly could be. Looking at the 4-hour chart, doing a fib retrace starting back on the 20th of July. You can see we are back here once again. We are in a spot, of course, where we have had previous support and resistance before. The way this fib is drawn, we have dropped below the 618 and the 618 golden pocket, but we're not quite down to the 786. Anyway, but do look at this. I do like to see where we have this. This is the visible range here in the chart of volume. As we're looking at it here within this fib sequence, starting back at the 20th of July, the greatest volume is right above where we are at, and that tends to be a magnetic attraction. So it lends me to think that could we be in a bounce spot? We'll see. We're either going to bounce or we're not. Like I've mentioned before, who is that really up to? These guys. So we'll see what they care to do, or we just see who wins. Anyway. There we go. All right, looking at the 45-minute chart, I'm not going to pull too much data in here because it'll blow my GPU up. But looking at the 45-minute chart, as you can see, we're beginning to see some sideways action here. I like that. Kind of ranging as I would put it, while the way else kind of duke it out. We're right in the middle of the RSI cave. I like that. We are below the 200 moving average, which is not too cool. But once again, I like this. I love a beautiful downtrend like this that then breaks hard above, breaks out. That's really what you're going to see. And with that said, the directional index is in the red. ADX is trending up. Squeeze indicators in the red. KRI is not quite where it needs to be, but it is looking okay. Looking at the stochastic RSI, are we oversold? Definitely, it would appear we're oversold in the stochastic RSI for the 45-minute chart. Let's look at a 1-hour chart. Definitely oversold there, but we don't have a tangent turning up yet. So with that said, a very, very short, immediate time frame, well, the 45-minute tangent is turned up. So anyway, let's look at a 15-minute chart just for fun to see what's really happening this morning. 15-minute chart. Well, no, you can do it. 15-minute chart really is riding that 200 moving average very, very hard. And as you can see, these little blue squares here, these are breaks above the 200 moving average. When you start collecting those, it's a positive thing, especially after this long downtrend. These indicators here on the 15-minute chart do show it's time to kind of turn up. So I'm going to kind of watch the 15-minute chart for a break above the 200 moving average that sticks, basically a break above. What I would love to see, this is just me, I think we could see either now or going into Monday, is we're going to see a break above, both with one good jolt, come back down, find support on the 314 or the 200, and then move up. Or what we might see is we break above range between the 200 and the 314 and then go. Where you're probably going to see that more likely is the 45-minute chart. The 15-minute chart is good to watch, like for very, very immediate price action. But just saying, I mean, if you're, Bitcoin does affect all of our alt trades and stuff like that. So just I mentioned why I'm kind of looking at Bitcoin so closely here is like, how much do we need to get back above the 200 moving average and the 200 moving average on the 45-minute chart, which to me is a very powerful place to be. We want to be above there. So let's look. We need about 5 or 6% to get above. That isn't so easy to do, but Bitcoin can definitely do it. So, I mean, if we can rock into this week with a burst of energy, I think it's possible, and start ranging between the 200 and the 314, and then continue moving up, get around 45,000, 46,000. It's possible. Why I say that, I mean, look, we have a tangent turning positive slowly here on the daily chart. I mean, there's a lot of velocity when that happens. As you can see, if you just go back and look at history, when the MACD crosses positive, crosses negative, not every time, but most times, you're going to see the price action on the daily chart reflect that. So daily MACD, very, very powerful. If we're tangenting towards a positive MACD cross, it's going to start to create confidence in the market. So I'm going to start watching Bitcoin definitely. Of course, on the 45-minute chart, which I always do, but definitely here on the 15-minute chart, I'm going to watch for some sparky action here. And if that happens, then boom. So I will put my alert in, just in case you guys want to see on a 15-minute chart here, BTC crossing value. I'm going to, mine is kind of hidden down in all this stuff, but basically I'm going to put for the 314, then I'll know that it, that it basically got some bursty action. That could have, like I say, I mean, this is conjecture, high octane speculation, but looking at the daily chart, also looking at the 15-minute chart, looking at that, also that 2-hour MACD. Like I say, it tends to be kind of a fortune teller to me. Tangent is turning a little bit negative now, but still we are on an upwards trend there. So let's see what happens, anyway, guys. There you go. Let me keep rolling here. I don't want to belabor all this stuff, but that's what I can see. I mean, I know there's a million ways to look at this, and people certainly do. But to me, really, starting to see some firming up. Maybe this dump is coming to a point where it's going to bounce. Ethereum, not too shabby, doing okay. It's going to do what Bitcoin does. So pretty much Ethereum doing what Bitcoin does. How about Ethereum versus BTC? Not a trade yet, but definitely watching. If we do turn up, if Bitcoin starts to make a move, well, Ethereum will also. Will Ethereum outpace Bitcoin? I'm going to be watching. That's a possible trade right there. ONG versus BTC. I was looking at this earlier, but right now it's down below the 314 moving average. It's kind of out of the running. So we're going to just forget this guy here for the moment. ONG, you're out of you're out of here. Sol versus USDT. It was showing some sparky action the other day right here. but it has not kept it. Anyway, it's kind of going sideways. It's probably going, look at these indicators here. It's probably going to do whatever Bitcoin does. So Sol versus USDT under the 45-minute 200 moving average, not really a play, but if you're a Sol fan, it's got some sideways action going here, and it will probably do what Bitcoin does. Sol versus USDT. It's ranging now between the 300. It's ranging now between the 200 and the 314 moving average. Like I say, I'm going to get rid of this upwards channel here because it's kind of silly. Anyway, so Sol, S-O-U-L versus USDT, ranging here between the 200 and 314 moving average. It has broken above the 200 moving average a time or two. Right now, it's just going to hang out. Honestly, it's going to do what Bitcoin does. So, watch for that 200 moving average break. Maybe it'll be a play. How the indicators look. Not too weak. So watch this guy here. Watch Sol versus USDT. Phantasma. A lot of cool things happening with this project. When Bitcoin starts to move, it probably will too. Can you trade Sol against Bitcoin? Let's see. Sure you can somewhere. Sol, how's that play? Sol versus BTC. On KuCoin, you can do Sol versus BTC. How does that look? Strong chart. It's above the 200 moving average. I like that. Strong indicators. Not really a play for me at the moment. I'd watch it. You could see a 200 moving average bounce, continue moving up. Let's see what happens. These indicators don't look too bad. If you are on KuCoin and you got some BTC, you want to trade against something, maybe Sol is a good deal. But right now, for me personally, I like this chart. I'm going to keep watching it, but the market's a little bit too unstable. I'm kind of unstable. I'm kind of expecting a move for Bitcoin tonight or Monday morning. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, but I kind of expect it. I'll reevaluate the market when Bitcoin starts moving. All right, C98 versus Bitcoin. It kind of lost its momentum. How about C98 versus USDT on Binance? How's that one looking? Yeah, it's done. I'm going to just kill this one. Not watching it anymore. It blew it. All right, SHIB versus USDT, long downtrend. It still does not really show much effort towards perking up. Mana versus USDT, where'd you go? Mana, USDT. Come on now. Where'd you go there, Mana versus USDT? All right, Mana. No, that's Band. Band versus USDT. It's doing all right. Sideways, good. There's not a whole lot of exciting alts. Let me I'll look at my scanner for 1 second, see if I see any alts that are really exciting this morning. Mana versus USDT, not exciting. I've heard some chatter about Matic recently. How's Matic looking versus USDT? Yeah, sideways, nothing too exciting. Let me take a brief look at my scanner. Sorry, you guys can't see this. I mean, you can see it. You can find it over at Bitcoin Daily. If you just look for the 200 moving average scanner, cross scanner, it is there. Anything exciting right now? Crossing, anything making moves here this morning? No, not really. Okay, sorry guys. Sorry to keep you. I don't see any exciting moves just now happening. So anyway, it's not very exciting. So with that said, let's just watch Bitcoin, see what it does come Monday. I definitely think that we could have something happening Monday. Let me actually before you go, there's something I wanted to possibly show you here. If I can pull this out, if I can get this to you real quick here. There was something kind of interesting. Yes, here it is. Let me actually fire this up. Bam. I'm going to show you guys something that I think is kind of cool here. This is something that someone found over at the this chart is by someone over at Trade Genius chat. Trade Genius, he found this. He made this, and I think it's a worthwhile thing to take a look at here. Bam. Okay, here we go. Now, this is you can kind of see the sniper stells, and this is kind of some Trade Genius indicators that you'll come across. But what he mentioned here was BTC monthly chart with Elliott wave projection, and it shows 21 EMA support that held before. We are going to bounce the start of leg 5 to complete the bull cycle. So anyway, Elliott waves are, in my opinion, high octane speculation, but so is everything else. and some people are quite good with them. They sort of they can just kind of see them. I don't quite have the gift of Elliott Wave, but this person over at Trade Genius Chat definitely does. Hey, if you're an Elliott Waver looking at the monthly chart and also looking at the 21 EMA on the monthly, we got a bounce there, and this is kind of exciting. So if this Elliott Wave pattern plays out, boom, there you go. And I'll just mention that some of this stuff, there's a lot of charts that I find and cool memes that I find and things like that. If you go over to the show description, the video description, you'll see links to the Telegram chat. I'm there more than the Discord chat, to be honest with you, but I try to do both. Also, if this is being kind of simulcast over at Blockchain Education, then just go to bitcoindailyview.com. You'll find the links there for it. Anyway, with that said, this is kind of exciting. I mean, why not? Let's see what happens. This Monday is going to be interesting. Sunday's not Funday yet, but Monday might be Funday. I'm definitely going to have some alerts set watching stuff for moves. I definitely think that they could happen. And I wanted to mention one more thing. I'm sorry to keep you held up here. I do not mean to annoy you, but this is big news. Okay, Flux versus USDT. You can find that on Binance and KuCoin, also Bittrex and CoinEx. So I like this one because it exists in a few places. So let's look at it versus Binance. Let's look at it on Binance, just because no one's got more volume than they do. With that said, check it out. Flux just made a deal with NVIDIA. Okay. For like some Web 3.0 stuff. Sorry, I don't have a link to show you on that. But just Google it if you want to. I'll find a link for it, and we'll keep an eye on this one, and I'll show you an article on it later. Right now, it's sideways, but look where it's at. 45-minute chart, 15-minute chart. Sorry, I wonder why it looks so good. 45-minute chart. Check this out. So it ranged from the 200 to 314, broke above the 200, came back and visited it. It's kind of going sideways. These blue diamond merit badges. So a break show a break between it above the 200 and the 314 in like one or two candles. So very, very fast breakup. You get these little pink squares. Those little merit badges show breaks above just the 200 moving average. So definitely, this shows me a lot of potential. We're in the middle of the RSI cave. We're above the 200 moving average. We're sticking there. I like it. The indicators look good. It's cooling off just a little bit right now. I'm going to wait for another uptrend here, and if I see it, I will hop in there. I'm kind of going to be trading this one a little bit aggressively. I already have a trailing take profit running, so I caught it when it burst above the 200 moving average. So I'm probably going to sell what I got any moment now, with maybe not as many gains as I would like. But I have a trailing take profit that's going to keep me in profit if it doesn't bounce soon. Anyway, I'm watching this one. I know we're talking high octane speculation, and of course not financial advice and entertainment purposes only. But I'm just saying, Flux made a deal with, they have a deal with. I'll find an article on it tomorrow or later on today. I'll put it in the Telegram chat. And bam, I mean, this is a big deal. Flux and NVIDIA working on, Web 3.0. This is a big deal. I think this this move that we're seeing here, right here was probably inspired by that news that just kind of came out. I only heard about it yesterday. And when I heard about it, you know what I did, to be honest with you? I went and bought some. And so I'm in profit. I mean, I know it's like, that's not exactly the best way to trade. I'll be trading on news, but it's a big deal. And this is a strong break. This chart is good. I would trade it anyway. It's volatile right now, but I'm trading this. I'm going to wait for another uptrend. If I see it, I'll get another buy-in. I'll lock in a trailing take profit. I think this thing is going to go places. If it keeps moving up, I'm going to keep scaling, because I think this is huge, 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 huge. And I'll get into it later on why it's huge, huge, huge. But it just is. Also, I aimed a good deal of my mining farm at Flux, because it's actually rather profitable to mine right now. So if you're a miner, you can mine it. You can also mine it with GPUs that don't have quite so much memory. You don't need 8 gig. I have some 3 gig NVIDIA 1060s mining it, and they're doing just fine. So this might be a damn good play starting now. So watch Flux versus Tether. Watch Flux versus, can you trade Flux versus BTC? Yes, you can on Binance and KuCoin. How's it doing against Bitcoin? Strong. Flux is doing darn nice against Bitcoin. Look at that. So that said, that's it. I promise. I'm really done. Remember, for every Bitcoin Satoshi you own, a piece of shit globalist cries like where are they? Like these two guys. It upsets them. It really it makes them sad. Anyway, take care, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.